Welcome to Subramani. I'm doing this very basic video telling people what they have to do because many beginners, yesterday I met at Madurai, many beginners want to know what to do with their monies and things like that. Now, it's nice to say that, oh, I know how to pick stocks, so I don't need a financial planner and all that, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'm not even getting into right or wrong. But I thought here are some steps which all of us have to take, whether we are old time investors or newbie investors. So what is the first thing to do? This is a very important lesson one learned from COVID, is to have a well stocked or well stacked emergency fund, right? So when you are thinking of an emergency fund, you think, oh, this is mechanical, so boring, everybody tells me that. But understand what all very good emergency funding thing can do. First of all, it can mean you are not stressed. If the markets go down, this is an intermediary or intermediate arrangement available between your savings bank account and your investment account. So you don't go from here to the investment account, but you fall here and say, okay, I got 3 months expenses, 6 months expenses, 2 years expenses, whatever you think is right. I've got the money here, so I can fall back on it. So don't look at what returns you're getting there. It's perfectly all right if it is kept in your savings bank account or in your fixed deposit or in your liquid or ultra short, but keep it somewhere. Make sure that you have 3 months, 6 months, depending on your family size, because if say you are just husband and wife and there are no children and parents are not dependent on you, you can have less. But if parents are dependent on you and your in-laws or you have a bigger family, you have an extended family which could come to you, remember your emergency fund is also required for your servant that you employ, for some of your employees who may come to you personally apart from your business. You need to keep money for all that. So depending on your situation, have a well stacked fund, because a well stacked fund is going to give you peace of mind. It's going to give you comfort. So this is my take. You have a 4-5 lakh rupee motorbike and you're trying to save money on the helmet, right? You're trying to say, oh, it's 3,000 rupees is too much for a helmet, I can buy one on the footpath for 200. It's not the price of the helmet, it's the price of your head, right? So don't look at it, don't look at the helmet price as a price on the helmet, it's a price on your head. So similarly, have enough emergency funds, but not too much, right? You don't have 5 years expenses there. That is very inefficient, right? So have at least 3 months, 6 months, depending on your situation. So first of all, create that. Second should be a great attempt to get out of debt as quickly as possible. So I'm not saying that you go overnight, sell off all your investments and pay off your debt. No, because if your debt is at 7% and your investments are getting you 11-12%, it makes sense not to repay the debt. But having said that, see what level you are comfortable with. Some people are comfortable with 1 year CTC as debt. Some people are comfortable with 3 years CTC as debt. Depending on your comfort level, come down to that comfort level and then repay regularly. Don't say, oh no, markets are going to boom, so let me redo my home loan. I have a 9-year period left, let me make it 14-year period. Don't do that kind of a thing. Don't borrow to invest. You have ability to invest, that you are investing. You continue to doing your SIP and repaying your EMI. Don't reschedule your EMI, but you don't need to repay in a hurry. If you're happy with 1 year CTC which is being there and that has to be repaid over 5 years, do it over 5 years. You don't have to prepay, nor do you have to say, okay, I will make it a 7-year thing because I'm more comfortable. My salary has gone up, my wife's salary has gone up, or something like that, right? So get out of debt quickly, but don't be in a hurry to repay, right? But maybe I'm contradicting myself. But if you're say 57 years of age and you have 5 years of debt left, maybe you should come down to 2 years or 3 years, because you may be forced to retire at 58 or 60, whatever. So before your retirement, get rid of all the debt. You may still get debt at 7% and you may be getting 11% in your investments, but that stress is avoidable, especially after you have retired. So similarly, if you have a student loan, or if your father is repaying your student loan, right, those things you have to take on and you have to get out of debt completely. So I mean, try to, but not at a fast pace. Yes, you should get out at the pace at which you have agreed to get out of, right? So especially in car loan and all, a lot of the interest would have been paid upfront. So there is no great advantage in repaying. You're paying 8,000 rupees per month, or say 23,000 rupees per month in a car loan. You won't get any great saving by repaying the loan. So be careful about that. Plan for financial independence. Normally people say plan for early retirement, but my take has always been plan for financial independence. FIRE, that we call it, is financial independence, which you will use for retiring early, right? So aim for financial independence. Retirement is still got a negative connotation. I wrote that book, when I wrote that book I was maybe 37, 38, but even then I realized that retirement has a very negative connotation. People don't want to say that I am retired. People want to say I am a consultant, I am practicing, I do lectures. People don't want to retire. I mean, so fine, be financially independent. So aim for financial independence. Create a box from which you will be able to withdraw for the rest of your life. I call that the retirement box rather than the retirement plan, because it can have an annuity plan, it can have your insurance proceeds, you can have a house where you are getting rent. All that put together is your retirement ka dabba or retirement box from which you are going to withdraw. And remember, that box should not get empty while you are alive. You should not see that box empty, because that's very scary, right? So make sure that you have enough money for your retirement, right? So, which is financial independence. As far as possible, try to create multiple streams of income. It's nice to know that you have got you got pension, you got dividends, you got interest income, you got rent or whatever, right? All that combination, what happens is, or maybe you're still going to do some part-time job. So if you got, let's say you got 10 lakhs income from each, so 10 10 10 10 10 is 5 times 10 is 50 lakhs, which is much better than having 50 lakhs from one source, because in this case one source dries up, the other four will be there, right? We always assume, like I always assume, that my dividend income will keep increasing at a rate greater than inflation. What if that goes wrong? So there is to be some other fallback option, right, which is available. So trying to create multiple streams is a tremendous way of reducing stress, right? So maybe you want to start your own business, and therefore it is going to be useful that you have 2-3 sources of income, so as a fallback option, right? So another thing that I want to talk to you about is having adequate insurance. Now, don't have too much insurance the way some people have. I've got a 5 lakh insurance, then I got a 10 lakh top up, then I have a 20 lakh super top up, and now I've taken a 1 crore. How much of medical insurance will you have, right? So you will never be able to have enough money to meet some of those exigencies. So don't bother about those things. Don't bother about, if what happens if there is a fire accident and I have to spend 40 lakhs. That's fine. We'll cross the bridge when we come to it. But have some basic insurance. Say if you're 30 years of age, have just about 5 lakhs plus you have a 20 lakhs or a 25 lakhs top up, super top up, whatever. Please buy it through an agent, because medical insurance far more complicated than life insurance. So best is to go and buy through an agent. Make sure that you understand what is the difference between top up and super top up. Do you need a 1 crore insurance, right? Check out for all that. Have adequate insurance, but not too much insurance. That does not make any sense, right? And one very basic thing, especially for youngsters, learn to live within what you earn. Don't have to borrow for your day-to-day requirements. It does not make any sense. Spend only on the credit card what you can repay at the end of the month, because the most important thing about credit card debt is you should not roll it over. You should be able to pay off your debt completely end of every month, otherwise you're living beyond your means. So make sure that you don't live beyond your means. Make sure that you are not addicted to anything which is bad for you. I'm not talking here so much from the money point of view, but anything, whether it is Netflix, Amazon Prime, any of those things could also be very addicting. When you're young, you need to invest much more in yourself. You need to invest in your health. Even older people, I know one senior citizen. I just met him. He's retired from the army. He spends about 3 hours a day on looking after himself. He goes for a morning walk, he goes to the gym, he goes to the pool, right? So and he was telling me, I need to invest in myself now. He's reasonably fit, So do that. So end your addiction and increase your gymming and things like that. I'm not saying take gymming to the level that gymming becomes an addiction or swimming becomes an addiction, but yes, stay away from all these channels which are there more to indulge you rather than teach you, right? So learn what to see and learn what to avoid. So ending addiction is it's a good thing to do. Plan to do what you love to do, right? So it's very important that you be ready for doing something else other than your main job. So when you're 40, 45, whatever, start planning for your life after losing your main job or after retirement, right? So if your social life is restricted to going out with colleagues, etc., that's fine. But if you're going to change locations, you may need newer friends. Some of your friends who have not retired, who are still in employment, are not going to be your friends after you retire, because they may not want to socialize with you. So make sure that your school friends, college friends, relatives, cousins, etc., you create enough groups for common interests, pilgrimage, walking, running, cycling, swimming, what have you, right? Traveling, right? So create separate groups. Make sure that the groups mix once in a while, but there could be a group which is into cycling which does not like to travel, and there will be a travel group which may not want to do anything physical in the travel. They just, oh, we want to go from place to place to see, we don't want to walk, etc. So find out what suits you and create separate groups. That's very important. Start supporting some NGO, start doing some charity. It's always nice. Make sure that all your papers are in order, right? Your name, address, everything should be in order, so that tomorrow if when you pass away, your family should not have to say, oh my god, what a mess this guy has left my life in. So make sure that you do all this. It's not some New Year resolution or something like that, but make sure that you do all this before you start investing, or even during your investment journey. If you have not done everything, just set it right. Thank you.